Tenno Sports Center, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on a big matchup coming up here in week 4 of this 2021 season, and that's going to be between the Texas A&M Aggies and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Top 20 matchup coming up here in week 4. We got Texas A&M on one side. This team has been in the top 10 all season so far, kind of in the background of the college football playoff picture, but with a quality win here, Texas A&M could jump further into that college football playoff conversation. As for Arkansas, this is a team who's been or has potential to be the big surprise team in the nation in this 2021 season, and so far they kind of are looking that way. You got Arkansas. I mean, this team absolutely blew out Texas a couple of weeks ago at home, and Arkansas is looking like a very talented football team right now. So it'll be a huge matchup for both these teams moving forward. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Last game for Texas A&M, they beat New Mexico last week 34-0. They are 3-0 and undefeated right now. Texas A&M, though, this is a team that I mean, they've got plenty of talent. Defensively, they look very good. But if you're looking at their offense here, I mean, the quarterback situation in particular is a bit questionable right now. I mean, between Haynes King and Zach Calzada, we've seen Calzada start the past couple of weeks. But, I mean, it's very interesting to see what Texas A&M has here with the quarterback situation. I mean, they don't have an outstanding quarterback right now, it looks to be. I mean, they got 2 young quarterbacks, but I mean, we don't see an outstanding standout quarterback yet out of Texas A&M. And I think, especially Zach Calzada, he shows potential, but we just have not seen that yet. So for Texas A&M, that is definitely a questionable position. But all around, offensively, receivers look good. I mean, it's a very talented football team, especially on the defensive side. But it's just the quarterback position right now, which is kind of questionable. But as for Arkansas, this team beat Georgia Southern 45-10 last week, and they're on fire. They're looking very good, 3-0, and they're also ranked 16th. It's been a while since we've seen Arkansas ranked, let alone in the top 20. So Arkansas is obviously having a great start to the season. They've just got to keep it going, and with a little bit of momentum, Arkansas could find themselves in the top 10 here. Potentially with a win, we could see Arkansas as the 9th or 10th ranked team in the nation. So do be aware of that as well. Game will be on Saturday, September 25th, Fayetteville, Arkansas, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. So it will be an afternoon matchup between Texas A&M and Arkansas. The spread currently has Texas A&M by 5.5. So overall, it's a pretty close spread. Over/under is 48, and the FPI is going A&M 57.6%. Serious history, very long history between both of these teams. Arkansas currently leads it 41-33. So we've seen 74 total matchups out of these teams, and this will be the 75th. Win streak is A&M by 9, so Texas A&M has won a lot of matchups in a row. 9 matchups, that's pretty much 9 years straight. So Texas A&M has obviously had a lot more success in the recent part of the series. Last Arkansas win was in 2011, so once again, it's been nearly a decade since we've seen Arkansas win this matchup. Here's your stat comparison. A&M's got 38 points per game, 5 points allowed so far this season on average. 252 pass yards, 184 rush yards. Then for yards allowed, 77 passing. That really shows how impressive and how talented this secondary is. 77 average pass yards a game. And I understand Aggies haven't really played any extremely talented offenses yet, but that's very impressive to keep a team on average under 100 yards of passing. Then they got 162 rush yards allowed. So on the rushing side, they've allowed a little bit more. But for Arkansas, 41 points per game, 16 points allowed per game on average. They got 210 passing, 282 rushing. So obviously the rushing core is huge for Arkansas right now. That's definitely something to keep an eye on heading into this matchup. And then for yards allowed, 142 passing, 124 rushing. As for some key points for this one, we got obviously 2 3-0 teams here. Zach Calzada has upside and room to improve without a doubt for Texas A&M. He's not a huge standout quarterback in the SEC right now, but I think he's got potential to get to that level. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But Isaiah Spiller on the flip side, he is looking very good so far this season. He is definitely a player to watch out for in this matchup and overall throughout the entire season for Texas A&M. He is a big impact player. Texas A&M, though, this is a dark horse SEC contender. If they can get a win here, they move to 4-0. And, the Aggies, of course, you got Alabama in your division, which Alabama's always, that's the thing, is Alabama's the dynasty of college football right now. So A&M has had a brutal time trying to get to an SEC championship game. But, I think A&M is I mean, Alabama is once again a very tough team, but I mean, A&M, if you want an opportunity to win your division, you got to win this game here. Like, Alabama's not going to take more than one loss. So this is a very important game for Texas A&M if they want any chance of winning the division. But as for Arkansas, I mean, they're in the background here too at 3-0. I mean, they can make a huge statement in this game. Arkansas definitely. I mean, once again with the win here, we should see the Razorbacks jump into the top 10 or be very close to the top 10. I mean, you get a win over Texas and Texas A&M. I mean, Arkansas should be, I would say, a top 10 team if they get a win here. So Arkansas, I mean, KJ Jefferson, he's played pretty well. I mean, after last season with Felipe Franks, Felipe Franks, I thought, did a great job for Arkansas last season, Florida transfer. With KJ Jefferson, though, I didn't really think Arkansas would be a good team this season. That's the thing. I mean, I did not see this coming, but good for Arkansas. This team is very talented this year, and they're having a great season. So I'm excited to see that for them. But they also have the home field advantage. I think Arkansas is going to be rocking this Saturday. It's going to be a tough place to play. I'd probably expect a sellout crowd for Arkansas. And this, I mean, it's a huge game for both of these teams, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But, I mean, Arkansas, we saw Texas play there. Obviously, Texas didn't do too well. So, I mean, for Texas A&M, I mean, it will be a tougher place to play, I can guarantee you. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. This will be a huge game coming up here in week 4. Definitely one of the more intriguing ones. Texas A&M, Arkansas. Here's my prediction for this matchup. I'm going with the Razorbacks. I'm going to predict the upset in this matchup, and I'm going to go with Arkansas to get a 3-point win over Texas A&M. It's going to be very close. I can see this game easily going either way. I mean, you got Texas A&M on one side. This is a team who, I mean, they just have not played extremely well so far this season. I mean, they of course shut out New Mexico last week, as they should have. I mean, New Mexico is not a very good football team, but Texas A&M, I mean, this is a team that needs a big win here, and I think that they'll get very close. But I think Arkansas being at home, that's going to make a big difference in this matchup. We saw how that turned out for them against Texas a couple of weeks ago, and I think that Arkansas, I mean, they've got as much momentum as really anyone in the SEC right now. And I think Arkansas is going to really play well here. 24-21 is going to be your final score. We're going to see the Razorbacks get a very close win. It's going to come down to the wire, possibly a last-minute drive for Arkansas, possibly a last-second field goal. We'll have to see what happens here. But the thing is, too, as I think if Texas A&M can get above 30 points, it will be very tough for Arkansas to win. If Arkansas wins it, will probably be more of a lower-scoring matchup. And so that being said, I am going with the under in this matchup. But, I mean, for Texas A&M to win, I think if they can get above 30, 35 points, it'll be very hard for Arkansas to score that many points, I think. Which, I mean, it's possible. We saw Arkansas do it a couple of weeks ago. But, of course, that was against a Texas defense that hasn't been the best so far this season. So, Texas A&M, of course, has got a much better defense than Texas. So that will definitely be a big difference in this matchup. But I think it's going to be more low scoring, 24-21. I'm going to give Arkansas the win once again. Huge upset. Probability Arkansas 55%. So once again, I'm not very certain about picking this matchup. I could easily see it going either way. And whichever team wins this matchup will be in a very good position in the SEC. So obviously, huge matchup for both these teams. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below, though, on this matchup, and I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you later.